The Infinix Smart 8 is the most affordable new phone you can get from Infinix currently. At just under $100, it's a phone that's easily accessible to many due to its affordability. But is it any good or it to be a waste of money? Let's talk about it. When you unbox this phone, you literally get everything that you need. A transparent glass-looking phone case, although I still think it's plastic. You also get a charger with the charging cable in the packaging, and surprisingly, it also has wired earphones. When unboxing the premium flagship phones from top brands such as Samsung and Apple, you don't get such stuff in the box. You only get the cable, forcing you to buy a charger separately. Yet you pay $1,000 for these phones, literally 10 times more than this one. Starting with the design, it is one of those things that might depend on your taste. Some people might really love the way it looks, while others may not be huge fans. This mostly has to do with the camera bump on the back, which looks a bit like the camera on some iPhone models. For me, I still think it's a pretty good looking phone. At the back, it's plastic, which does not attract any fingerprint at all due to the sleek matte finish that it has. The sides of the phone are flat, but the edges are curved, which makes it comfortable to hold. You won't get that feeling of it digging into your palm when you're using it for a long time. On the right side, you'll find the volume buttons and the power button, which doubles up as a fingerprint scanner. The bottom side has the headphone jack, the speaker, the Type-C charging port, and the microphone. On the left side, you'll find the slot for your SIM card and microSD card. Overall, the build quality of the Infinix Smart 8 is pretty good. Sure, it has a plastic back and frame, but that's to be expected for a phone at this price point. Even though the design might not be the most groundbreaking thing out there, it's definitely a step up from the Infinix Smart 7, which was its predecessor. So no matter what you think of how it looks, you can probably agree that it feels like a nicer phone in your hand. When it comes to the display, it comes with a fairly big 6.6-inch screen, which is a good choice for those who prefer big screen phones. So the size factor alone makes it nice for watching videos, browsing, and maybe playing games. But the best thing about this display is its 90Hz screen refresh rate. At under $100, it's almost impossible to find this feature, but this phone has it. Scrolling through social media or playing games will feel noticeably faster and more fluid compared to phones with the standard 60Hz. The phone also has an adaptive refresh rate option, so it can automatically adjust between 90Hz and 60Hz depending on your usage, saving battery while still giving you a nice performance. But there are a few things to keep in mind. The display is an LCD panel, so the blacks won't appear quite as deep and inky as some higher-end phones with AMOLED displays. The overall picture quality is good, but it may not be the absolute best compared to many other phones out there. Another thing to consider is brightness. The display is bright enough for everyday use indoors, but if you're outside on a sunny day, you might find it a bit difficult to see what's on the screen, even in full brightness. The phone also has a punch hole camera on top and gives the iPhone dynamic island effect, which Infinix calls the magic ring. It has several functions, such as being a charging indicator, face unlock indicator. It shows low battery and background call management. Generally, this display is ideal for casual users who prioritize a large screen for everyday tasks and browsing. If you are a gamer or someone who needs the sharpest visuals, you might want to consider other options. Now, the Infinix Smart 8 is a budget smartphone and its performance reflects that. It is powered by the Unisoc T606 processor, which is a budget chipset that can handle basic tasks like browsing the web, social media, and light gaming without much trouble. So for the basic tasks, it performs quite well, but you shouldn't expect smooth performance with graphically intensive games or video editing. You even won't be able to download some heavy games from the Play Store due to them being unplayable on this phone. It comes in two RAM versions, 3GB and 4GB. The 3GB version might struggle if you try to do too much at once, and opting for the 4GB version will give you a smoother experience overall. You could also use RAM expansion. For example, the 3GB is expandable to 6GB. I've never been sure how efficient RAM expansion is though. Storage options also vary between 64GB and 128GB. Obviously, it's advisable to spend a little bit more for the 128GB version. This phone's performance is in line with its budget price tag. It will handle everyday tasks decently, but users who need a phone for gaming, heavy multitasking, or running demanding apps might be disappointed. It is suitable for those who prioritize affordability and plan to use it for basic tasks, calls, and browsing. If you're a power user or a gamer, you'll likely need a more powerful smartphone. Sadly, this phone comes with Android 13 instead of the current Android 14. Also, it's the Go edition of Android 13, a lightweight version of Android that is optimized for budget phones with lower specifications. It should help the phone run smoother and use less battery. There's another layer on top of the Android Go edition called XOS 13, which is Infinix's own custom software. XOS lets you personalize your phone with themes, wallpapers, and other cool stuff. But you all know how XOS usually comes with lots of unnecessary bloatware. The bloatware situation has been reducing in XOS, but it's still there. You can uninstall some and can't uninstall others. I think the phone will get Android 14 update, but as a budget phone, updates might be less frequent or timely compared to more expensive models. So while the software experience is quite nice for minimal customizations, you won't get many software updates. Now let's talk about the cameras. The Infinix Smart 8 keeps things simple in the camera department. The main lens is 13 megapixels, which is decent enough for taking pictures in good lighting. Your colors might come out a bit more oversaturated and the details won't also be that sharp, but you'll still be able to capture those memories. The second camera is a 0.08 megapixel auxiliary lens that's basically there for decorations because I don't see a single use for it. The selfie camera is 8 megapixels, which is fine for snapping a quick selfie for social media or a video call with friends. And both the front and rear cameras can record video in 1080p at 30 frames per second. It won't win any awards, but it'll do the trick for capturing a birthday party or a funny pet moment. This phone's camera is suitable for users who prefer affordability and only take occasional photos for memories or social media. If you take a lot of pictures, especially in low light, or want more creative control, you'll likely be happier with a phone that has more capable camera system. But that should be obvious. Don't buy a cheap budget phone, then start complaining that its camera is not to your liking. You get what you pay for. When it comes to battery life, it has a 5000 mAh battery, which is a generous capacity and should provide enough power for most users to get through a full day on a single charge. Although it's still new, I've noticed that it stays with power for a really long time. Now for the not so great news, the charging speed is a bit sluggish. At only 10 watts, it can take a while to get your phone back to 100%. It is not up to par with standards nowadays. All things considered, the Infinix Smart 8 is a solid choice for budget-minded users who would want to get the most bang for their buck. It delivers a big display with a surprisingly smooth refresh rate, a battery that will last you a full day, and a pretty nice software experience. While the camera won't win any awards and the charging speed is on the slow side, it makes up for it with a very attractive price tag. This phone is ideal for casual users who make calls, browse the web, scroll through social media, and enjoy the occasional YouTube video from this channel. But if you're a gamer, a power user who needs the top of the line performance, or just someone who craves the absolute best camera or the latest software, you'll probably want to look at some higher priced options. Remember, you get what you pay for with phones. Don't cheap out on a phone, then later complain about its features. If you're looking for other options in this price range, you can check out the Itel A70, the Tecno Pop 8 or the Redmi A3. They all offer almost similar features and experiences at comparable prices. Thanks for watching. I'm Milan and this is Fuzzy Tech. Subscribe.